back again with our pal Judy Heft and talking about all these things we have to do in the winter. And folks, do them. The weather's not good. It's snowing. It's raining. You know, you can DVR or watch the soap opera, you know, back on a day when you don't have much to do, but this is critical information that saves you time and saves your money. We were talking on the break about doing the options one would have for doing taxes. I'm pulling into a parking space the other night and I'm listening to sports radio, and on sports radio one of the commercial providers says, oh, this is easy, you can just do it for free with us and you don't pay anything. And then there's you know, tax mama or tax idiot or whatever in the heck it is, and they'll do all the taxes for dummies, and this is, we're going to make it free and easy and painless, and you're here to tell us otherwise.
Exactly. You know, I was just going back to what you said about the weather being cold and it's a good time to get your taxes ready. It just reminded me of something many years ago, you know, thinking, you know, it's a beautiful summer day. That's when they used to have the extensions in September. Beautiful summer days, and seeing people, I know people that are, you know, stuck in their houses trying to get their taxes done because they filed for extension. And I always thought to myself, there's a reason why the taxes are due in April, so we can do this in the winter.
Well, you know, historical note. Do you realize it used to be March 15th years ago?
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, it was. I can't tell you exactly when it became April, but I used to work with. This is many years ago. I used to work with a very nice older woman who was running around March 15th like a nut, and I would say, Katie, what's wrong? She said, it's due date. I said, no, we got another month. It's okay. But I mean, can you imagine that today? That's. I mean, we're actually getting another month.
And yeah, and a lot of the K1s and papers don't come until March anyway, so.
But you know, and I'm glad you raised that, because that all started to happen like in 2003 when the Bush administration started messing with the tax code, and the brokerage industry still haven't figured out what a qualified dividend is and what a return of capital is, and you know, you've got something done and there it is, it's great, and all of a sudden, you know, something else gets changed. And you know, and that's part of the legacy we have today. All set does not prevent you from doing everything else you possibly can do.
Still have to file.
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, if I can make a personal soapbox statement here, my office, we scream at people during December, because December's the time to clean out your garage and bring those donations over to Goodwill or Hadassah or Covenant House, or so just get it over there, you know. Also, this is the time of year to make those business purchases and to get those assets, and you can save thousands of dollars. I had somebody one year, and this is amazing, she ended up owing taxes, and I would tell her she owed $5,000. She would have gotten back $2,000 if she had done all the things that I told her that weren't easy, but she had to make holiday cookies. That's a very expensive batch of cookies, but oh man, it's sitting right there in front of you, and people don't do it.
That's true. But you know, there's one of the ways, I mean, you can do your taxes manually. And,
right.
You know, everybody says, okay, that's easy. That's good if you're just a W-2 wage earner. Mm-hmm. You own no property, you have a very simple return, you have no dependents, maybe you could do that. Now, the other way is TurboTax, or there's another one, 1040.com, that people suggest. And a lot of people use TurboTax, and it interfaces with Quicken and QuickBooks. Right. But you know what, that's another one that's really, it's not as easy as they make it out to be. It really is not. And that's another one that's good if you're just a W-2 employee and maybe you don't have many other deductions. Or, you know, you have to keep your Quicken files up to date too. To try to do TurboTax, all of a sudden, if you haven't been using Quicken or QuickBooks all year, is really a headache. And you know what, the downside of that is you don't know the new tax laws. If you're not up on them, if you're not a professional, you don't know what's going on. They don't necessarily, like we said before, know what all the deductions are that you could be taking for your particular situation.
Now, I've had either the fortune or the misfortune, depending on how you look at it, to use commercial packages for many years. And yeah, you know, I'll jump on at the end and I'll do my own. But that said, these don't give you prompts. They may give you warnings. But the way they make these off-the-shelf things sound is, we will ask you the questions that will prompt you to go do something. Are they that reliable, or do they miss a lot?
I think they miss a lot. I tried to use that years and years ago. I tried to use it probably 15, 20 years ago when I first started using Quicken. And I have a small business at the time, my own business, and my husband at the time also had a business. So I just couldn't figure it out. It was really complicated, and I'm in the finance world. I didn't get it. I think it's much better to go to a professional. You know, you get what you pay for. You really do, and you save money that way. I'm all about saving money.
Now, let me ask you this, because I'm sure, you know, from the place where you sit on the field, you've dealt with professionals of all stripes. And what should someone do if you convince them, okay, you got to go out and, you know, really it's going to help you. The one thing I remember from economics class is the principle of comparative advantage. Even if you could do something better than someone else, if you can hire somebody to do it where you could do something at a higher good, this is a greater thing. What should they look for in a professional that complements them?
Well, there's a couple of things to look for. I mean, just because someone has the right initials after their name doesn't mean that they're going to be a good fit for you. I think this is one of the only times when you might want to take advice from a family member on something financial. Get recommendations for, well, there's a tax preparer, there's tax attorneys, there's CPAs, there's enrolled agents, but every one of those should have a, let's see, a PTIN. It's a professional
Tax identification
number. And if they don't have that number, then it doesn't matter if they're a CPA or someone who has a shingle out that says they do your taxes, and that's the most important thing. They have to be registered with the IRS. So I think there's a lot of different things to look for too. Get someone, when you interview someone to do your taxes, find someone that maybe works with someone that has a similar situation, that has household employees, so they understand what to do about a Schedule H and how to file that as part of your return. Or if you have rental income, maybe you own property and you're renting it out, you need someone that understands that and can tell you the loopholes to look. They're legal loopholes, not loopholes really, I don't know if that's a negative word, but
things you can avail yourself of.
yes, that are out there that you don't know about. So, you know, but you have to, I think that's something, like you said before, you should also in December start looking for someone to do your taxes. You don't want to wait till.
And you don't want to be
January,
charging
February,
in March and all the slots are filled.
Right, and not only that, you know, when you bring everything to them, usually you have to come back because you missed something and then you're running around, and if it's, you know, already April, then you don't have time to find that particular document that you might have forgotten about if you were one of those people that's not that organized.
Yeah, you know, haste makes waste, as they would tell us years ago, and what's that? But we're not going to go in haste here, but we're going to be moving to a break very soon. And segment 3 coming back here with Judy Heft on Connecticut Morning, and we're going to talk about something that we all love, but we all need to do, is record keeping. So we'll see you just in a moment. Thanks for being with us. Love to have you there.